Today we are going to discuss the comparative advantage. Comparative advantage is the advancement of the absolute advantage. The problem which the absolute advantage could not explain, comparative advantage explain that part. So to explain the concept of comparative advantage, I am going to share my screen. So from there we can understand what is comparative advantage. So comparative advantage, the concept is given by David Ricardo. This is introduced by David Ricardo. The concept is dependent on the concept of the opportunity cost. So the comparative advantage is absolutely dependent on the concept of the opportunity cost. Now all of you know what is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means the next best alternative sacrificed. This is the opportunity cost of the current activity, right? Now, according to the comparative advantage theory, a country has a comparative advantage over a commodity where the opportunity cost is least as compared to other commodity. Okay, so this is the comparative advantage. So comparative advantage, so what I said, that comparative advantage theory is based on the concept of opportunity cost. And what the comparative advantage theory is saying, the country has comparative advantage over the production of a commodity for which the opportunity cost is least as compared to the other country. So let me explain with an example. So this is an example. Say there are two countries, United States and South America, and they are producing two commodities, roses and computer. Roses are expressed in terms of million and computer in terms of thousand. So if the worker is working in United States, he can produce either 10 million of roses or 100,000 of computer. Similarly, if the worker is working in South America, he can produce either 10 million of roses and 30 or 30,000 computers. Now look, for rose production, it is same for both the countries. However, in case of computer production, these are different. Now, as you already discussed, the comparative advantage theory is based on the concept of the opportunity cost. So, look, in that case, absolute advantage theory fails. What the absolute advantage theory is saying, that the country should produce, if the country is producing more of a commodity, he has absolute advantage over the commodity, and after trade, he will produce that. So, in according to that concept, United States should produce more of the computer as 100 is greater than 10, and South America should also produce computer than rose as 30 is greater than 10. So after trade opens up, both countries will produce only computer, no country will produce rose, and there is no scope of trade. But in reality, there is trade. So that reality can be explained not with the help of absolute advantage, but with the help of comparative advantage, that is with the help of opportunity cost analysis. So from that table, we are just calculating our opportunity cost. This is the opportunity cost. This is what is the opportunity cost of roses. So 10 million is equivalent to 100,000. So that means one roses means 1 by 100. Okay, so this is the amount of computer which has to sacrifice to get 1 unit of rose. So this is the opportunity cost of rose, and inverse is the opportunity cost of computer. That means if you want to produce one computer, you have to sacrifice 100 units of roses in United States and 333 in case of South America, and 1 by 333, this is the opportunity cost of roses in terms of computer in case of South America. So this is the opportunity cost table. Now we are going to the analysis. Then which country has comparative advantage over which commodity? Now look, 1 by 100 is greater than 1 by 333. So we can say, or we can say on the other way, that 1 by 333 is less than 1 by 100. So South America has least opportunity cost of roses as compared to United States. So South America should produce roses. So South America has comparative advantage over roses, and after the trade, it should produce more of roses. Now, what about the computer? As 100 is less than 333, so the opportunity cost of computer is least in United States than South America. So, United States has comparative advantage over computer production than South America. So, after economy opens up, United States should produce more of the computer. So, in this way, you can explain the pattern of trade with the help of the opportunity cost or the comparative advantage theory. This is another example. Look, this is US and UK. These are the two countries who are going to produce two commodities, wheat and clothing. Now, if the worker is working in US, then he can produce either 6 units of wheat or 4 units of clothing. UK, in case of UK, it is either 1 unit of wheat or 2 units of clothing. Now, look, in terms of quantity, US is more powerful than UK, as 6 is greater than 1, 4 is greater than 2, right? Now, in that case, the opportunity cost, if we are going to the opportunity cost, then to produce 6 units of wheat, you have to sacrifice 4 units of clothing. So to produce 1 unit of wheat, you have to sacrifice 4 by 6, that is 2/3 unit of clothing. So 2/3, 2 by 3, this is the opportunity cost of wheat in terms of cloth in case of US. And just inverse is the opportunity cost of clothing in terms of wheat in case of US. And UK, it is 2.5. Now look at the opportunity cost table. As 2 by 3 is less than 2, then US has a least opportunity cost for wheat as compared to UK. So US has comparative advantage over wheat production. And here, as 3 by 2 is greater than half, or rather half is less than 3 by 2, then UK has opportunity cost, least opportunity cost of clothing production than US. So UK has comparative advantage over clothing than US. So this is how we can conclude that US has comparative advantage over wheat production and UK has comparative advantage over clothing production. Okay. Now look, we have changed the data a bit. This is US and we have changed the UK data, not the US data. Okay. So in case of UK data, it becomes 3 and 2. That 6 and 4 is same as before, but 3 and 2 is changed. What is the significance of that 3 and 2? These are just half of the US production, right? 3 is the 6 is the half of 3 and 4 is the half of 2. So in that case, what is the opportunity cost? Look, for two commodities, opportunity cost is same 2 by 3, 2 by 3. Here also it is 3 by 2, 3 by 2. So the question is, what will be the pattern of trade? In that case, as the opportunity cost is same for both the countries for a single commodity, after trade there is no trade because both the countries has same opportunity cost. Okay. So, what is the modified conclusion? We can say that when a country has absolute advantage in the production of both the commodities, there is a possibility of trade, as you can see here or here. If the country has absolute advantage over production of both the commodity, there was a possibility of trade. But unless the absolute disadvantage is the same proportion to both the commodities. Here, what is that? Half. Okay. The UK is in the absolute disadvantageous position, but what is the proportion of that disadvantage? Just half of US. So if it is same for both the commodities, that half is same for both the commodities, then there will be no pattern of trade as according to comparative advantage. So this is all about the comparative advantage. So we in the next class we will start In the next class, we will start the advancement of the international economics. So for this class, this much I have to say. Thank you, and we will meet again in our next class. Thank you.